Welcome to the first NewOps Days. I appreciate all of you coming out today and taking a flyer on a new event with no history and a weird name. We appreciate it. My name is Damon Edwards. This is Jayne Groll, and that's Andi Mann. We're your hosts for today, and we're also the organizers. So if you like what you see, let us know. If you don't like it, it's all Andy's fault. Ba-dum-bum. And so Andy's going to kick things off by telling us a bit about sort of why we put this event together in the first place. And also, please tweet as much as you can about this. Do a little publicity, send photos, do whatever you want to do. We want to make this a kind of a global series. We want to start doing 3 or 4 of these a year in different cities. So how enthusiastic you guys are and what you tell us today will help us shape these events in the future. So, yes, there we go. Can you do that on Twitter, please? Thank you, sir. Yeah, hashtag. Oh, we don't have a hashtag. I hashtag NewOps Days. How's that? Yeah, with an S? That's good, even though it's a one-day event. I got that part. English majors might know that one. But yes, okay, here we go. Andy, take it away.
Super. Thank you, Damon. Thank you, everyone, for coming along. Just to give you a little bit of an idea of what we're doing here, firstly, I do have to put this slide up. Is my clicker working here? Have I got the wrong clicker? That's entirely possible. Okay, so I'm going to need to get a different clicker or a clicker that works. Bianca, if you could grab a clicker for me. Firstly, I do have to tell you we're a public company at Splunk. I will put up a slide in a moment. It is forward-looking statements. So I might say something about futures. Anything you hear on this stage, go and have a look at our public filings. No forward-looking. Here's one. So go and look at our public statements and all that sort of stuff. Why are we here? Essentially because everything's changing, right? I've come from a background of data center operations, back in the dark ages, and it was sort of easy then. Everything was together. It was monoliths. Now everything is changing. Even when you catch a taxi, you now catch an Uber or a Lyft. You don't stay in hotels. You go to Airbnb. All of these sorts of things are changing a lot. The world. Cloud is a huge part of this change, right? Obviously, AWS infrastructure as a service, but increasingly platform as a service. Now we're seeing all sorts of new kind of architectures as well. And we're starting to see real disintegration. And I mean that term literally. Things are disintegrated. And so they're complex, they're spread around. It changes the way we build systems, and it also changes the way we build applications. So we're building increasingly composable applications, out of containers, out of serverless functions, APIs, partner ecosystems, increasingly letting other people do what they do as their core competency while we focus on what we do really well. So that means using third-party services and so forth, and I'll click. And this is a really interesting one to me. I use this first slide quite a lot when I talk about DevOps. This is sort of the start of DevOps, was this idea of 10 deploys a day. Paul Ham and John Allspaw, leading luminaries in the DevOps community, this was revolutionary in 2009, and I just snagged this from the internet recently. This is an Amazon presentation on 50 million deploys a year. Different time frames, but you can see the rate of change is just extraordinary. And so we're having to take on new skills as IT operations teams. One of them is obviously automation. So this is happening, right? Automation is happening fast, but it's not always that smart. And as IT operations people, we need to make sure that we're engaging in smart orchestration, smart operations. And I'll just click again because artificial intelligence is coming really closely. I love this, and I also hate this. This scares me. This is how you get Skynet. I really wish they would treat this robot a little bit nicer. No, don't do that. Oh my goodness. No. So anyway, so artificial intelligence is just what we make it, and maybe it's going to fight back at one point. But all of this is creating a dynamic in the world where IT is not looked on well. So I'll just click through to my next slide. And so this is real. You could Google this if you want. Right? This is real. IT departments are, and the Google suggests is useless, headed by I like to feel that CIO, but I feel it's probably something not quite as pleasant, doomed. And if I click through the next one, it's not just IT in general. It's sysadmins and IT operations specifically, right? This is what the world thinks of us, right? obsolete, stupid, good sysadmins are lazy. We'll talk about automation later on, and maybe that's actually true. I've ordered myself out of a job 3 times. So that's why we're doing NewOps Days. It's designed as a community-style event, so we've got great community support today. It's produced and run by Splunk, but only as one of multiple supporters here on the stage. The goal here is really to help you engage, meet each other, build your network, build your skills, understand better about what's happening in the new worlds of IT operations, and related areas, site reliability engineering, and these sorts of advanced sort of areas. So, just a quick look at the agenda. So you can see a single track. So we're going to have a couple of great keynote speakers from LinkedIn, from Disney. We'll have lunch put on. And then we'll have a couple of shorter sessions. Jayne is going to speak on new skills. I'm going to speak a little bit on data and analytics and machine learning for IT operations. Damon's going to talk a little bit about his work in the automation space and avoiding toil. And then we're going to have these lightning talks. Now, Damon, do you want to give us a quick rundown of what we mean by those?
Yeah, sure. The lightning talks are going to be fun. So they're the 5-minute talks, the slides auto advance, right? So it's a little bit of a high wire act, so it's entertaining. You'll enjoy that. And then afterwards, we have open spaces. How many people have done open space sessions before? A few? Okay, cool. So the way I'd look at it for the rest of you, it's a kind of self-organized networking time, right? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to, during the day, think of a topic. Think of something you'd want to talk about amongst the people in the room. And what you're going to do during this little opening session, right after the lightning talks, you're going to suggest a topic. You can write it down on a Post-it we'll give you. We'll announce it. See how many people want to talk about it. We'll put it on the board. We're going to have a couple spaces, like 4 spaces, sort of throughout the facility here. And we'll just quickly throw open an agenda. There'll be 2 different sessions, and you can pick which one you want to go to. They're great because they're essentially like roundtable discussions. So you just take some chairs. We put it in a circle. There's generally a kind of facilitator person who suggested the talk, but they're not the leader, they're not the expert. They're just there to get the conversation going. And there's some specific kind of rules and nuances to it, which I will we'll talk about when we're doing the opening for that. But it's a really great time. I think people will enjoy it. And there will be Taco-licious, bringing tacos and margaritas. So that should keep the conversation lively. So stick around.
Super, thank you. During the open spaces, margaritas during open spaces. Just a couple of logistics to go before we start. Please post, tweet, gram, everything. Hashtag NewOps Days. It's pretty straightforward. Emergency exits. Down here. You can see the signs. If the sirens go off, follow instructions. Muster out the front. Bathrooms are straight out where you came in, just on the right-hand side. But there's a security guard. We'll let you back in if you need to come through the doors. The Wi-Fi, there's a couple of notices around to tell you where that is. Food is going to be awesome, drinks as well. Quickly, the supporters have tables out the back. They've got demos, they've got giveaways, swag, socks, stickers, all sorts of stuff, so please do visit them in the breaks. We don't have an actual code of conduct, but I would like to direct you to codeofconduct.com. Bottom line, don't be an asshole. This is an inclusive, open, non-harassing space. Anyone who, if you've got any issues, any complaints, please contact any of the organizers. You'll see us running around all day. Feel free to touch base with the security team if you're not comfortable with that. And anyone who is harassing anyone else will be asked to leave. So yeah, just enjoy the day. Be good to each other. And I think with that, we're just about done. So thanks to our supporters, and now I would like to ask on stage our first keynote presenter, Michael Keogh from LinkedIn. Woo!